What's up, guys? So you're here because you want to see how I pass all my evals. Before I go, feel free to subscribe. You can watch me trade live during the week. Be sure to like the video and let's dive in. So, how I pass all my evals, I basically use a simple strategy for the most part. I leave on my um, I have VWAP on there, but typically I do not take VWAP trades. I typically take first touch, and I'm going to go over what first touch means. So it's pretty simple. It's the first time you come in the vicinity of the pivot point. So as you can see right here would be the first touch. It would hit here, and I start taking. So you can see the pivot point is at 66. I would start legging into this trade probably about 56. I would buy a lot. I would buy another lot around 60, 66, 70, and probably 75. And as I got filled on the way up, you would then get a rejection. And I'm typically looking for, 20, 25 points on a move like this, depending on how far we've come. So you can see when we went from one pivot point to the next, I would be looking for at least 25 points. We would have gotten that. I probably would have gotten filled on three lots. Three lots, 10 points is 600, 1200. So you would have got about 1500 bucks on this trade, and you'd be halfway there for passing an eval. Obviously, we rejected it again, but what you could see is the first touch here, you would have gotten that trade, and then you would have gotten this, and you would have passed your eval. That's pretty much how easy it is. Now, the reason I do first touch is because the first touch is here, and then we come back down. I'm not saying you can't take this, but the odds of it working become less the more times we hit it. The more times we hit resistance, it definitely becomes more of a statistic that we're going to go through. And sure enough, we rejected here, but we eventually punched through, and then the trade is done. I'm not looking to really play a bounce off of the. You can, and I've done it, but when I'm trying to pass my evals, I'm trying to go heavy, and I'm looking for 20 points. Am I going to get 20 points off of a bounce around here? Like, I don't know. You can, you can't. That's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking to basically travel a good ways, hit the pivot point, and get the rejection I need. We can go back to, here's another example. This is another day. Boom, first touch. This dropped. That's a massive drop. Here's a great example. So you travel from this pivot point all the way up and kind of like a staircase up. And once you come here is where I would have backed up the truck, got in, legged in on multiple levels, and I was looking for my 20, 25 points. I would have gotten it again. What I'm not looking for, well, you could see this is why I only play first touch. First touch, you'd have gotten your 20 points at least, and then when you come back up, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for that one trade a day, sometimes two trades a day. Where it happens. The one thing you got to think about is news, though, trumps all. And this was a news play right here. This was the FOMC meeting, and this is why I don't play it during news, because it will blow right past this pivot point and just keep going. So during news, I don't really trade for an hour. So I'll just sit there and let the market go wherever it's going to go, and that's it. So I not only play the rejections, I'll play bounces as well. I'm looking for traveling from pivot point to the next pivot point. So we were at this pivot point, come down, I probably would have gotten filled at least one, if not two contracts here. Would have gotten my 20 points, and then that would have been it. I'm not playing the second touch because look, the second touch, it breaks right through. Depending on what's going on in the day, like I'm probably not playing any of these plays here. The only thing I'd be looking for is us to come down to around this pivot point for another bounce. You would have gotten it here, and then I would have been out. And then when we drop to this pivot point is probably when I would have taken my first loss, because it seems like we blew through this. We actually did bounce, but I probably would have gotten out even or with a slight loss here. Same thing here. This would have been nice. First touch down, got the bounce. Just like this, though, you went from this pivot point to this pivot point. Boom, you had another nice trade. So I basically play pivot points as my main strategy, passing these evals. It happens so much. You know, you could see it again here. Only the first touch. Now, sometimes you'll get close like this, but I probably wouldn't have gotten filled because that's 17, 18 points away. That's too far to start getting filled. I usually start around 8 points away, so I'll probably buy it like, or maybe 10 points away, 5 points away. I'll buy it, another one at the pivot point, and maybe another one 5 points over the pivot point. And then my stop loss is usually 10 points above the last purchase. So do I take losses? Yes. You will take losses, and when you take a loss, you'll take a pretty sizable loss. But I would say you're gonna win, oh man, like 85% of the time. I'll pass evals sometimes, 3, 4 in a row without burning one sometimes. Do you get these types of trades every day? No, like this day you would have gotten the one trade there, and the next time, actually, you would have got 2 trades. You would have got this one right here. But some days you can go all day without getting it. So like this day, you hit the pivot point up here. You would have gotten 1 trade. But you have to be okay with taking 1 trade during the day, and that's it. But you know that this trade, because it went a little bit above, you probably have a full stash. You probably have 4 contracts. And let me see, 26. You'd have gotten 20 points on all your contracts. You would have banked. So, this is my way of passing evals over and over again. But you have to be patient. This isn't a lot. This isn't trade 1,000 times a day. This is 1 to 3 good trades a day where you sit there, you wait, and you take it. You leg in, and then you sell on the way out. Like I said, I'm looking for 20 points, 25 points. So I'll probably take one off like 50. If I get in 3, I'll take one off at like 15, one off at 20, one off at 25. I'll set the sells, and then if I get in with 4, I'll do the same thing, but that last one, I'll just keep moving up my stop with like a 5 to 8 point stop loss, and I'll just keep going, because sometimes you get, you'll hit the pivot point and just get like a waterfall. So something like this. This is first touch. I mean, this is from 53 all the way down. I mean, this is like, that's 60 points. So if I would have just followed it down, my last contract, I probably would have gotten 50, 60 points off of it. So this is what I use to pass all of them. This is free. It's on TradingView. It's just called Pivots, traditional. And that's it. Super easy. If you have any questions, comment below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch me trade during the week.